keywords. We can do real time searches. So I don't know if any of you on the call is familiar with the company Hibu. Anybody? That's a thumbs up. So no. And then we've got Trish and Cassidy and Bob and Sue, and I don't know who else. If anybody wants to come off mute and chime in at any time, feel free. Hibu is a national digital marketing company. We help hundreds of thousands of businesses across the nation with their digital footprint. And we're going to dive in a little deeper about what that footprint should look like or what that means. We are a premier partner with Google, and we have been since 2006. We were the very first company to hold the top accreditations in the marketing category with Facebook and Google. So we're pretty proud of that. There's only about 5 companies that can say that they have top accreditations in their marketing for small business solutions. You know, as time has gone on, we all know that these things in our hands have taken over the world. We don't let them go, right? And as time has evolved and the space has evolved, you guys all remember the good old days of the yellow pages, right? Back in those days, it was really simple to just, if we were looking for a business, and it was something local, if we needed our water heater or the roof or whatever it is, we went to the yellow pages and looked up that business, and there was listings and there were ads, right? Well, today we know that the digital landscape has changed immensely over the last several years. And our phones have changed that even more. Now we're looking at voice search. That technology is huge. It's coming into where I call on 25 businesses a day typically. And I can tell you a good portion of those will have Alexa. Maybe you guys can vouch for, you know, on your end, that you have Alexa in your office or at home. Then we have our phones and we're talking into Siri and we're going, hey, Siri, you know, I need the best underwater daisy picking company near me. And most business owners that I sit down with at some point in time, you all have a website, right? There's a website out there. And then we all know that we need our Google listing. There's Yahoo, there's Bing. What you may not know is that there are 70 some other local directory listings that make up that space. And all of them, even if you don't know what they are, categorically roll up into how you're ranked with Google. So along with then your and I had this great video that I wanted you guys to watch.
I think I got it. Try it.
Can I?
I think I got it.
You do. I love you. Okay. Yay, guys. All right. So I'm going to play this video. It is a couple minutes long, but it has and it's going to be a little salesy, but it has some great numbers. And I want you guys, it goes pretty fast. So pay attention. And I will. Oh, come on. Go. 3.6 billion, 1.6 billion.
Can you hear her? Is she not talking?
No.
Is it me? Is that the bad luck charm?
I don't know why I can't hear it.
So just not to go into the whole, Hibu. I don't want it to be salesy, but it is kind of a little bit because this is my presentation that I give all my clients. But what I want to talk about and the point of the whole presentation is how do you know, and of course, because we had all this technical difficulties, none of my stuff is up. So let me see if I can reload my presentation. So, talking about the consumer landscape, the digital marketing process, benefits of partnering with a business like ourselves and what that means for businesses overall. And we will touch on that SEO. The on-page SEO is built into everything we do. Now, we're not really going to talk about the off-page SEO. There is a big difference between the two. So talking about your foundation as a business, is your website mobile friendly? Is it secure? Most that I still see unsecured websites all over the place. It blows my mind. And why is that important that it should be secured? I do see websites that are not secured be hijacked. It does happen. Google labels websites today, if you've ever noticed up at the top, where it will say there's a little lock and then it will say non-secured site. If your site says that, that's a red flag in Google. That's one of the many pieces to this algorithm that they rank you when it comes to local search. So look at it as a 1,000-piece puzzle. How can you be found on voice search? That's a big topic right now with Alexa, Siri, and Echo. What companies can you trust? There's a lot of people out there like me, right? And then there's individuals that try to do a lot of it themselves, and there's missing pieces. They'll get part of the puzzle, but not all of it, okay? And your business information, do you know how accurate it is online? I'm going to showcase Cherie's business to share with you what I do to see what you can see out there on the whole platform as a whole. Branding your business, how to find targeted leads, evolving social media and how that is all integrated together to build what is this cohesive or integrated strategy for getting that visibility you're wanting to get when somebody searches your business online. Does that make sense? So we're going to talk a little bit about consumer shopping behaviors. There's really 3 types of shopping behaviors. The first one is the basic digital consumer. Now, I consider myself that. Even though I'm in this space all day long, I know how it works, I know how it's integrated, I'm on social media, but when I'm looking for a local business, and I'll say underwater daisy picking, just as a generic business, okay? It doesn't matter if you produce widgets, you provide a service, whatever it is, basically this foundation is the same for every business. And how are you in front of the consumers out there searching? Now me, I want to talk to a person. I still want to touch, feel. I'm not the one to buy online. I don't like it. However, I have people in my life, and I don't know which bucket you guys fall into, that does everything online, from shopping to research to whatever it is, finding that local phone number, or I don't know, the deals of the day for getting my coffee or lunch special, whatever. So I'm just going to scoot through these three because there is a wide range. That eternal shopper really is, I do everything online. I want to talk to you via instant messaging, emailing. I don't want to talk to a person. I want to do all of my homework up front. I may start that behavior by reaching out on social media to like Milford Matters. Hey guys, I'm looking for the best hot tub. I want a hot tub, and I'm researching the brands, and we go out to social media. We know every business has built their business via word of mouth since the history of businesses going into business, right? But word of mouth has now become word of mouth, where we can go onto social media, whatever platforms that we like, Instagram, Facebook, Foursquares, whatever, however we're wanting to communicate. Well, is your business in front of everywhere it matters? Does it matter if I'm the basic digital consumer or the driven buyer or the eternal shopper? You want to be in front of all of it. How do you do that? I mean, we're spending, as we all know, we're already spending more time surfing, searching, and socializing. So, 87% of shoppers begin their hunt in the digital channel today of some sort. Doesn't matter, and you don't know where that is, right? It could be, I'm just going to Google it. We all know Google's a big dog in the space. Facebook is a big place. I when it first came to market, I said that is word of mouth on steroids. We already know that. So our company has taken a three-step approach of how to build your business online successfully. And it does start in the first two steps. We're going to spend a little time on that, and that's where I'm going to jump over and showcase a few things with Sharice, with her permission. So you can get a hands-on feel of what it is we look for and how that impacts your business in this space. So number one, we start with the solid foundation, your listings management, and that includes, yes, Google, Yahoo, Bing, and then the 70 other listings that are floating out in the space. Just think about all of just apps, the apps that we have on our devices. We don't know if you are an Android user, an Apple user, where you get your mapping. Just that alone, Apple Maps, Google Maps, Waze are just three of many examples. So your listings, and I'm going to showcase that here shortly, so bear with me. That plays a major role of how your business is, basically a popularity contest in the Google space, because all of it, even though you might not recognize some of them, it does roll up to Google, and it rolls up to voice technology. Your reviews, we know today, 91% of the people who are looking for a business weigh heavily on reviews. That's their number one reason to pick a business, is your reviews and reputation online. Number one, whether it's true, and that's a whole nother topic of conversation. We could talk on that probably, and I could coach on that for a month, but it weighs very heavily. So that's part of the first step. The second step is going to have a secure website. We all know it needs to be mobile friendly, but how is that tied in with your social platforms as well? Those first two steps, I call that your foundation. Everything you do in the digital world is driven to this right here, okay? Your website, your listings, and how you're connected with voice search. The third step is then the actual marketing side. When you're marketing online, if you don't have a good solid foundation and you're driving traffic to those broken pieces, like a website that's not secured, or it doesn't have all the components to be recognized by voice technology, it doesn't have the right content that ties in as well. All of this information is integrated and woven together. If it's not done well, when you do things like search, pay per click with Google, Yahoo, or Bing, your social ad campaigns, sponsored ads with Facebook, Instagram, marketplace within Facebook, display. We've all seen those banner ads that whether you're getting your email, you're playing games like Words with Friends, and we get annoyed because after we played that word, an ad comes up, right? And we go, we hate that. SEO. Now this SEO I'm talking about then is your off-page SEO. And I'm going to share some interesting facts as well on the lay of the land of Google. I'm skipping some of this stuff. So most businesses know, I mean, they, you know, at one point in time, and you can jump in here if you want, that you've been frustrated or you felt scammed by a company, or gosh darn it, I can't get on Google Maps. Why? Right? There's all of these steps to your digital marketing or your foundation that has to be in line. The days of just, like the video said, the days of just having a website, the days of just maybe, you know, utilizing social media, those days are over. If they're not talking to one another in this space, you're missing the boat. You're missing clients because you don't know where that consumer's starting their consumer journey or ending it, or in between. Does that make sense? So real quick, I'm going to share. This is where I pull up, and I already plugged Sharice's business, Bye Bye Pain. Now, is it Bye Bye Pain Mobile Lasers? Is that the official?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So this is a tool that we use, and I can pull up any business at any time to say, okay, where do you fall in this network? Now, we know Google's a big player, right? Bing. Now, Bing has you as Bye Bye Pain. Facebook has you Bye Bye Pain Mobile Lasers. Yelp has you Bye Bye Pain. Now, if your business name is Bye Bye Pain Mobile Lasers, and this is your address, is that correct? Do I have that correct?
Yeah, we have 25 offices. So that one picked one of my offices in Brighton.
Gotcha. So but it's associated with that phone number.
Correct. That's correct.
So what this is saying, it's pulling, and this, your listings play a major part on how Google serves you up on a local search, okay, in Google Maps. So this along with your website, and we'll talk a little bit on schema markup. That's the new term for this elevated search engine optimization, or SEO, that plays a major role of populating your business information to Alexa, to Echo, to Siri for voice technology. Okay, so just having your Google listing is not going to ensure, and it shows that it's not here, and that's because there's what Google is saying, my tool is saying, there's discrepancies, so they're not sure which one to pull up. Doesn't mean that you don't have one, it just means my tool is saying there's several out there and I don't know which one's accurate, okay? So I do work with businesses that have multiple locations, and it can lend a layer of complication when it comes to Google listings.
Are you muted?
Any questions with so far? So at this point, you know, when we look at this, it's telling me you have 100%. Now there's a level, I would say 90 to 100% based on some of the things I researched before preparing for this. I know you have a Google listings, but it also does not showcase an address. It's just the phone number, and Google kind of poo-poos that, okay? So you're gonna suffer a little bit, oops, we don't want that. With getting, for your Brighton location, if you've got multiple locations and you want to come up in the Google Maps section, there's something, you know, very definitive things that we can do to help you with that. And it starts with your listings and your website. And it's so important to have it unified across all networks. So if you want to be you know, your business name is Bye Bye Pain Mobile Lasers, it's extremely important to have that exactly the same across all networks. Right now, it's just not, I mean, you have a lot that's missing. And like, who goes to Merchant Circle to look up a business? They don't, or Easy Local. However, all of this plays a major role. It all categorically rolls up into Google's ranking. The schema markup. This is the back end of your website. So if you just have a website floating out there and you did a GoDaddy or Wix or WordPress site, it may not. Now I would say probably 80% more and more businesses are getting a little more savvy with this. It's fairly new, but the schema markup has it's that enhanced search engine optimization, SEO, with name, address, phone number, description, your hours. This talks to voice search. Again, it's tying and synchronizing all of your information so that Google can go, oh, yeah. And what most business owners don't even know and realize is you have control over this. I don't know if any of you have had I'll use an example. I had ordered tile for a project. And what's the first thing I did? I wanted to go pick up the tile from the warehouse. It was a Saturday. I was planning out my day. I looked at how long they were opened, so I could plan out my goings. So it said they were closing at, I think it was 2 o'clock. And we're like, oh, we have plenty of time to go pick up my tile. We get there at noon, and they're like, no, the warehouse closes at noon. Well, your listings say you were open to 2. Oh, no, the offices are open to 2, but you can't pick up your tile. Guess what? I was pretty mad. About 80% of businesses have their business information wrong out across the networks. So you do have the ability, and we provide that service. It's called Listings Management, where you can go in and there's a dashboard where you can control, say you close earlier, you want to put in your holiday pre-schedule that you're off for Christmas Day, or you're off, your office is closed New Year's Day. You can pre-schedule it within your listings management portal, and it puts it out to everywhere that it's relevant. So Google, Yahoo, you don't have to go to each one. Go to Google My Business and change it. Go to Yelp and change it. Nobody has that kind of time, and that's why most of the information's wrong out there. We do provide tools for you to manage that, and it's simple and easy, along with reputation management. So I don't know how you guys are currently managing what's being said about your business online. There are 20. Now, most people only know of Google, Facebook, Bing, and Yelp, but there are 20 other undescript sites out there that people can write reviews about you. How are you managing that? Are you just spot checking when you have time? Most business owners don't have time to spend, searching for that stuff unless they get a bad one and it's a glaring one on Google, because that's the big dog. So how do you manage that? Are you in control of it? Are you keeping it accurate or up to date? So if you have reviews that are 8 months, 7 months, 2 years old, Google ranks you on quantity. Not only just if you have 5 stars and how many 5 stars you have, but how recent are those? Are you keeping that up to date? That's part of your SEO. Google, you have to earn that visibility. So I'm going to go right over to a couple of searches here, which I kind of pre-did. Let's see if we're still, and I just did because you do the high intensity laser pain stuff, right, Cherise?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Okay, and so I just did, and as a consumer, if I was, pain, and I know it's different than going to a doctor and having, it's a non-surgical, non-medication, right? So I put in drug-free pain management. Now there could be hundreds of variations on how to search to get, people who don't know what you do and they just know I'm in pain. How are they searching for your business, right? And again, it could be for any business. If you're building a widget, or you're a plumber or what have you. But I'm just going to use this as an example to help you guys think about, when you're the business owner, you think differently than how the consumer may feasibly search for you online. So Google, and I have tools at my dispense that I can look up to see what kind of volume, what search volume is going on for your type of business. Okay, so if I search drug-free pain management near me, we're all familiar with the layout. Now it could be different. Sometimes Google serves up the map section. Sometimes you'll see some ads at the top, right? And then as I scroll down, there's what we call the organic section of a search. Now, mind you, let's go back up to the top. Drug-free pain management near me. I'm sitting here in Milford, and Google's job is to pull up, match that query where I'm at locally, okay? But look at about 843 million results in less than 1 second. Now, there's not a whole lot of real estate here to serve up 843 million possible results to match this query. So how do you get here, right? So again, that foundation plays a very instrumental piece of this, okay? So you've got Google Maps, and right now, Pain-Free Patrol, they have no reviews, Holistic Direct, right? So this is what's being served up right now here in my local area. And Sharice, if you have an office or you want to have visibility here, how do you get here? Okay. You'll see where there's driving. So Pain-Free Patrol doesn't necessarily have driving directions because there's no reviews, but they're saying they're pretty close to here. There's an algorithm that Google uses to, okay, what makes them worthy of coming up here above these guys? They don't always share that. They change their algorithm regularly. All right, so the point then is SEO. How do we get front and center? There's actually 2 ways. Search engine, well, 3 ways. Building your listings, your foundation, your website, reviews and reputation management. That foundation is huge. That's the first step. Then there is search engine marketing. That's your pay-per-click advertising that gets you where you want to bid on keywords to be served up at the top on a paid ad. So let's see, I did a search. I just did tree removals because that's pretty competitive. So if I did tree removal near me, then you see the sponsored ads here. This is pay-per-click, where they're bidding. It's an auction. They're bidding to be in front of that keyword search. Right? I don't have to do a whole lot. I'm paying to play, okay? It's pay for performance. These guys are not paying anything to be served up. It's not until I click on this and go to their website that they're paying. They have a budget set up, and a lot of companies don't understand how this works and how competitive it's based on vertical. If you're a tree, if you're insurance versus a doctor versus an attorney versus underwater daisy picking. It's how to compete in this space is based on traffic and competition. Okay. And then the map section. Everybody wants to get in the map section because it's free, or the organic section that it's free. Now, mind you, 25% of those who are searching will click on the sponsored ad. 25%. The others, about 78%, 75 to 78% will click in the map and the organic portion of the search. And then you'll see more ads at the bottom of the page. Typically, you're talking that's another 3 to 5% click on the bottom page. Now, rarely goes on past the first page, okay? So in order to compete, and if you want your business to have the most visibility, this kind of marketing and advertising we can get you up and center and drive traffic to your website. Your website has to be built to convert. There's there's good things and bad things about that. Just having a website out there and you call it good, those days are long gone too. Your website needs to be built in such a way that it's consumer, I call it, you don't want them to think too much. You want to keep it easy. How are consumers engaging on your website? So if we go to, see if I still have you up, Sharice's website, what's the first thing you want as a consumer going to the website? What do you want?
What is it? How much is it?
Pretty much. And if you're like me, I want to talk to somebody, I want to ask questions, don't make me hunt for your phone number. Okay? That is huge. Most businesses miss that. Have your business information at the top of the header of your website, on every page of your website. So when you're driving traffic and somebody lands on about laser therapy, now different marketing programs, when you drive traffic, if I'm looking for I don't know, I'm just going to use this as an example, magnesium oils, I don't necessarily want to land on the home page. I want to land on the page that's relevant to my search. And we specialize in that, where Google rewards you and your campaign and your program based on how well your ads are written, how well your website is tied into that as well, plays a major role on what you spend on your marketing, especially on pay-per-click. Does that make sense? Do I have any questions up to this point? So I'm going to bounce back over to my little thing because I get a little sidetracked. I'm going to pass, we went through all that. So as a company, we've managed, like I mentioned, hundreds of thousands of businesses across the nation. This isn't something we specialize in it, and over 111,000 search ad campaigns with Google, Yahoo, and Bing. Over 30,000 social ad campaigns with Facebook, Instagram, Marketplace. Nearly 200,000 listings management programs. That's all those listings that I just shared about with Sharice's, where her footprint is online. That's just one piece of this puzzle. So we hold a lot of experience in the space. Working with a company, whether it's with Hibu or another digital company out there, and there's lots of them to choose. But what's important, whether you work with me or you work with another company, look, their credentials are important. So being a premier partner with Google, ask them. If they're a certified partner, that's different than a premier partner. We're, as a company, audited by Google twice a year. So we have to adhere to their best practices. Facebook, I had already mentioned earlier on, we were the first company in the US to be badged as both a premier partner and a Facebook marketing partner. So because of everything that we do, and mind you, I've been doing this for 13 years, and I can honestly say, I know as a business owner, I hear it all day long, how frustrating it is. This space is frustrating. They hate Google, or they hate, banner ads, and they hate, but let's face it, that's where everybody's at. That's where consumers are at. That's where eyeballs are at. And so where do you need to be for your business to have that visibility? And it's not as simple as just having a website out there and having a Google listing. I'm going to skip through some of this. So I already reviewed. 91% of consumers say that positive reviews make them more likely to use a business. That's huge. I mean, that's just huge. So making sure that that's something on the forefront, that you guys are managing what people are saying. And if you don't have that many, or you have no reviews at all, that's not necessarily good either, because you're ranked accordingly. How do you promote more reviews? I get businesses that get frustrated with, well, I got this, these bad reviews out there and it's not true, or it was a disgruntled employee, or it wasn't even my business. I've had that happen a lot. Like somebody, Precision Tree, care. He's part of my networking group here. He's part of our chamber. He's one of my clients. He got a bad review because there was a company, Southern Michigan, that goes into Ohio, that the customer wrote this review and thought it was him. But there was precision tree, it was precision tree removal instead of precision tree and shrub care, right? So they got the wrong business, but it landed on his reviews. How do you address that, right? He would not have known that had he not seen it or paid attention to the dashboard that we provide. And he can write all the responses he wants from one place. Having one portal and one hub to manage that saves a lot of time for busy, busy business owners. So your website, usability of your site. Is it easy to navigate? How do you know how people are navigating your website? Is that important? Is it easy to do? Click to call, click to get directions if you have a brick and mortar place of business, right? Forms, email. Is it responsive to the Android, to Apple devices on your phone, iPad, desktop, laptop, right? So making sure it's secure and it's in sync with your listings. What sets you apart from your competitors is important. Showcase that on your website. When you land on a website, what sets you apart from your competitor? And a lot of companies, you know, they'll think about a tagline, which is great. They want a brand. Branding is very important, and that brand should be universal and the same across all networks. So your business logo should be, in the look and feel of your website should also portray on social media as well, and everything in between. So driving leads, that foundation, I keep pounding that. I'll say it over and over again. When there is 3.5 billion Google searches every day, 1.6 billion local searches every day. 78% of US consumers make purchases on Facebook. I mean, there's a lot of activity. You have to ask yourself in the question of your business, how much of that do you want to be in front of? What is your local market? If it's a 20-mile radius or statewide, if I work with I Love My Pillow, and I don't know if you guys know this, I put a plug in for them whenever I can because they're here local. It's not My Pillow, but I manage their search campaign nationally. And we started small and we strategically rolled out methodically their business to get the visibility and the you know, the footprint that they were looking to have with a plan in place. So what is your plan? Can you do it yourself? Do you want to partner with somebody who can help you with that plan? It's just like financial, it's like when you are investing your money, you bring on a financial advisor, right? For your business. You have a CPA, you have an accountant. Today, it's really important to have a digital solutions partner to help you put together a strategy that's going to drive you leads to your business that makes sense on all the platforms that are out there. And that's what I can help with. If, you know, when I'll pass on. So this is the reason why. Being a large company that we are, having that huge footprint in the space has led us to have lots of data. That data and all the analytics behind everything we do, we can share with businesses on how to have that footprint, what makes sense for them. Now, you know, Sharice is going to have a different strategy than Jack or Trish. I don't know what kind of businesses they have, but it just depends. If you're insurance, if you're real estate, if you're an attorney, if you're, you know, heating and cooling, you're a plumber, roofer, it doesn't matter what it is. You have to have a strategy put together to be able to compete in this space in a very smart and strategic way. And this is how we know. I mean, our clients, on average, there's a 260% increase in actions like click to call, click to map, when all that stuff is synchronized and integrated together. This one's huge, you guys. Whether you partner with a company like me or you do anything on your own, leave here today knowing that make sure your site's secure, have your phone number up in the header of your website, of every page of your website, and add your reviews on the header of your website. There is a 91% increase in conversions when you do that. So when you have somebody land on your website and they see what your reviews are like, that's huge. That drives them to take some kind of action, a call, an email, a text, however you want to communicate with your clients. So back in January, we took 25,000 of our clients across the nation and we dissected all of the analytics and data. So if you have a website, I call them danglers. If your website is dangling out there, and Sharice, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but
Okay.
you have a dangler out there. Your website dangles in the world of internet, right? And when you start plugging into your listings, you clean up all of those listings out there, just that alone will drive an additional 93% because you're going to be a little more visible in that local area, okay? Just by doing that alone. And then as we layer different forms of marketing and you have a complete digital strategy in place, whether it's banner ads, and we've seen them. You go to Yahoo, you go to AOL.com, you go to HGTV, you'll see those ads across those spaces, right? And along with sponsored ads on Facebook, it will drive another 223%. Social media, look at this, we layer display and social media together, another 534% increase of unique visitorship, and this is monthly. And then search engine marketing, that's you're adding into layering on SEO and search engine marketing, which is pay-per-click with Google, Yahoo, and Bing. So it depends on what you're looking to drive. If you want you want to be in front of it all, then we got to talk about, okay, what does your budget look like, right? It always comes down to the budget, what you're willing to invest. Just like when you're a financial advisor, are you a high risk? Are you conservative? We take the same analogy and strategy along that way too. What is right for your type of business? So if you're like, I need to increase my bottom line 20% in 2021 because we took a big hit in 2020 or whatever your story is, right? We need to build that strategy based on what's right for your business within the budget you're looking. I have clients that are slower to go, right? They're just looking to get that foundation so I can get up in Google Maps, right? Or I want to be in front of all the active search volume. That's that direct form of marketing. When somebody searches for pain-free services, how do I pain-free management, whatever those keywords are, we can put together a game plan for you. Now I want to open up, I know we're getting towards, we had some fumbles up at the beginning. I wanted to have an open forum of any questions or concerns or whatever it is, shoot them out at me. Was there anything part of the presentation that you got more out of or was looking for more information about?
We have, can you go to the chat? There's a question in chat from Sue Garland.
Let me see. Can I get to this chat from here?
I can ask it.
Yeah, please.
Okay, Sue Garland says, as a nonprofit arts organization running an art center, I'm thinking people don't shop for us. We're trying to draw people that may not be aware of our existence. How would we do that?
Good question. So yes, it still comes down to your foundation, and I would recommend that's where social marketing and display advertising, those platforms provide visibility and awareness. It's branding and awareness, putting yourself out there We can target, say you want an area. I had a art gallery. We did the same thing for where they just wanted visibility to their art gallery, not necessarily marketing an event, but just want to increase visibility. That's where display and social are a good fit for that, because it's not like really no one's actively searching for that necessarily, but it's like billboard advertising, okay, but online. Billboards, when you're driving down the highway, how often do you guys pay attention to billboards? What if you had a billboard online that could retarget people who are we can target people that have an interest in what you provide based on their engagements online. Like, so social media, people click on things, right? There's this algorithm. Guess what, guys? They know what we're interested in, how we engage online. It is Big Brother. We can target audiences based on their interests and their engagements online with businesses such as that. Does that make sense?
Does anyone else have any questions?
This is Sue. Sorry, I'm just having trouble unmuting myself.
Yeah, go ahead, Sue.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, that's just kind of, thank you for answering the question.
Well, did it answer? I mean, if you're looking to have that, there's the traditional forms of marketing and advertising. There's your radio, there's TV, there's newspapers, which the usage of that has changed substantially. Everybody is online. So social media and display marketing. So say if somebody came across your website, there's something called retargeting. You can retarget traffic like that too, with then putting ads in front of them based that they visited your website.
Okay. I'm just taking notes here. Bear with me.
Yeah. And if anybody on this call is looking to set up a time, I would be glad to set up an appointment. It's free. It doesn't cost anything for me to consult with you. Now, obviously, if we meet and you're looking to actually actively, market, I will put together a recommendation. By all means, you can say no and it's not for me, but at least you'll have something in your back pocket to say, we can plan for this if it doesn't fit in your budget. Most people are like, well, how much, right? It really is relevant to our conversation, what you're looking to do, for me to even put a price tag on what that investment would be, based on a lot of different factors for your business.
Thank you very much. And you're going to leave contact information and all that.
Yeah, I was going to have that up, and it probably timed out. So let me.
Sue.
Yeah.
Tina is a member of the chamber. You can get all of that information on the chamber website.
Okay. Yeah,
Thank you.
Under
Yeah.
Hibu.
that works.
You just go under Hibu and it's all there.
Got it. Will do.
Right.
Tina, I just want to say thank you. I'm so glad that you were able to pinpoint out my poor dangling company. And I'm so glad you picked me to do it, because I have a good sense of humor and I appreciate positive feedback, and constructive feedback. So I appreciate you taking the time to do that. I think our company falls in line a lot like with where Sue is at, right? People aren't actively searching for laser therapy. So we're more of an education segment at that point.
Exactly.
So really trying to pinpoint, and yes, you were right, 100%. We have been told as business owners from a ton of people, especially 10 years ago, that they could get us on front page and first page guarantee, which we all know is a great goal to have, but not necessarily accurate. And so we've spent a lot of money trying to get up there. And I think what you've probably have noticed is a lot of cooks in the kitchen in our business where we have delved out that responsibility to some people. And what you're basically showing me is that some people change things and they're not cohesive around. So I think what you just did was so important. And I know for myself, I will definitely be scheduling an appointment with you so we can go more in depth, because I'm sure I'm not the only company that's out there that's feeling frustrations and, you know, doesn't have $1 million to spend and, you know, wants to tackle things in small projects. Because I think, you know, if you've been in business for as long as we've been in business, it's one of those things where show me what you got, you know, before I spend $1 million, what can you do for me?
Well,
You know?
and I've heard it all, you know, and not to say that our company has a 96% retention rate, which is probably the highest in this space. We have worked really hard to streamline and put things in a more strategy mode, not, you know, we look at things as a solution, not as, oh, we're just going to create a website and, oh, we're just going to do this. And, oh, because it really is important for all of it to be talking to one another in today's market. It's just the way it is today. So we do take that strategy. Not to say that I don't work with one-offs. It does happen. It just depends on the business. There's a lot of moving pieces to it. I will be the first one to tell you that if we're not the right fit, no, we're not the right fit. I don't want to bring on a business or help, you know, if they're it's about communication. So if you hired a company and you expected them to just, you know, and this has happened, you know, okay, you do my website and they were supposed to do this and SEO, they, you know, and I'm still not, and I'm frustrated and yeah, I spent a lot of money, but the odds are you didn't even know what you had because there was not this it wasn't a partnership. It was, well, I'm paying you to do that. But it doesn't work that way. The space doesn't work that way anymore. So I bring on is we are a partner like your CPA, your accountant, your financial advisor, although even financial advisors, maybe if they only meet with you once a year to go over your portfolio. We're not even that. It really is a moving piece. Google and Facebook, they're constantly changing. Why? Because technology keeps changing at a very high pace, right? It's constant. So keeping up with that is important. That's my job to help you with that. So it is a partnership. It is building that trust, and it's all about return on investment.
Preach. Preach.
Bottom line.
Does anyone else have any questions for Tina? No?
All right, awesome.
Any closing words? By the way, I've known Tina for a long time, and she does what she says she's going to do, and she'll be right there for you. I know that. And she's really easy to work with. So there's my little testimony.
Oh, thank you, Jen. Yeah, I mean, I work with so many, well, here's some of my clients, and you guys, I mean, they're all in the area. Whoops, maybe I can get there. So if you'll recognize some of these are my clients, just a handful. I work with hundreds of, and our company works with hundreds of thousands. But I like to work with my local businesses here. The space isn't perfect. However, you know, we're as close as you're going to get to having somebody who walks you along where you need to be, and look at your business individually. So realtor is not going to be the same marketing strategy as an attorney or plumber.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, Tina, thank you so much for sharing today. It's a complicated subject. I know. I've tried to understand it for years.
Yeah.
Still trying.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. Feel free to reach out to either me or Tina, and we'll get you the information you need. And thanks a lot.
Yeah, so
Thank you,
just real
Tina.
quick, my phone number, if you guys want to just jot it down, I'll put that, you can call, text me, whatever, and we'll set something up if you're interested. So 248-807-3633.
Thank you.
And then
And
we'll
again,
take
you
it
can
from there.
go-
But thanks for having me, you guys. Have a great day.
Bye, thanks.
Bye.
Thanks, Jen.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, Jen.